Now that it's the start of 2022, I've had the Pixel 6 Pro for about 4 months now, getting to 5 months. And it's safe to say that it's finally time for me to give it a full experience review and try to answer the question, is it worth it in 2022 after all these months? Let's try and find out when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro with my full experience review. Let's go. Hi, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I'm going to try and keep this review as straight to the point as possible and make it more experience-based and technical, as I've done many individual reviews on the Pixel 6 Pro, and I also did a technical deep dive during my early embargo hands-on video with the Pixel 6 Pro, which I highly recommend you go watch. That out of the way, let's jump straight into it. Google, you nailed it this time around, especially when it comes to the design and the build. My opinions here pretty much are no different to my early hands-on 4 months ago when I said the best thing about the Pixel 6 Pro design is the design identity. It really honestly does look and feel like a spiritual successor to the Nexus 6P with how the rear camera bar goes all the way horizontal across. It stands out and it really just does not look like any other phone, at least from the back. The materials are top tier and they do not skimp out in any way this time around, and technically makes this their most unique and also premium phone, period. That being said, case or no case, I just hope Google next time move with a matte finish for the glass and the metal frame, because having a glossy finish is so 2016, and a matte finish when done well adds better grip and handles fingerprints much better. Apart from that, bravo Google. This is your best design yet. Display and audio. And again, here is another smash hit. And look, I hear people talking about how the brightness on the Pixel 6 Pro is not that great, but it's not really been the case for me at all. Again, Google held nothing back with this being a high resolution QHD plus display, and it does have adaptive 120 Hz on this OLED panel. Now the haptics are solid. In fact, if not a little bit too strong out the box, but great once you turn them down a bit. And then with that, the vibration feedback is excellent. Here are some of the few things that I kind of struggle to defend when it comes to the display experience. Even after the much needed January 2022 security update, the fingerprint sensor is still best on okay and decent. And honestly, there's nothing to write home about. Next, the selfie camera. It still supports no form of face unlock, even if it's not as secure as the fingerprint sensor. Another one is curved, which I'll be very honest with you, mind you, it has been well managed and really hasn't caused me that much issues, but a flat display is preferred and a flat display is always the way. Lastly, whether this matters or not, there is no option for you to actually run this display at 1080p if you want to save on even more battery. Honestly, not a big deal, because as for me, I'm gonna run it at max resolution, but just putting it out there. And closing it down, one thing I do have to say though, I love the dual stereo speakers on here. Thanks to the nice bass that it produces and the clear sound, it's literally my favorite set of dual speakers on a smartphone that I've used so far. Thank you, Google. Great display and great audio experience on the Pixel 6 Pro. Here, when it comes to the performance, it's not gonna come as a surprise that it's been great for me on the Pixel 6 Pro. When you have 12 gigabytes of RAM and fast storage on tap, backed with the custom 8-core SoC system on a chip, nowadays in the Android space and smartphone world, such specs will usually net you a great performing phone. And honestly, the Pixel 6 Pro is still proof of that. For Google's first attempt at somewhat a full custom chipset engine to power their phones, this is a great start. And so long as they keep investing and sticking to it, and then sticking to it some more, the future is looking very good for the Tensor platform. When it comes to a section of the review that's short and sweet like this, trust me, it's a good thing for sure, because personally, Google have not disappointed when it comes to the performance. Funny enough, this is going to be my least favorite part of my experience with the Pixel 6 Pro, and not for the clear obvious reason you might think, which predictably ends up being bad battery life. Now look, let's break it down. Considering I live in London, UK, in a heavy 5G coverage area, my battery life experience has actually been really good. So it's not really the battery life that's disappointing me, but it's the overall battery charging experience. Let's start first with the new 30-watt charging speeds, which if you've not seen my many charging test videos already, which pretty much shows that you really do not get 30-watt speeds at all, and it takes a long 2 hours and sometimes slightly more just to get to full charge. Then there is no charger in the box. Of course, this is a trend that's going on right now. Thank you, Apple, for following that through. But you know what? The worst one is just how they handled the Pixel Stand Generation 2 wireless charger and how it was all dealt with. Now look, without the December 2021 or what is now the January 2022 update, you couldn't even use the Pixel Stand Generation 2 at all. Or even if you could, you really couldn't get the full speeds that were supported. Bad enough, you had to wait 2 months for the charger, then you have to wait almost another month for an update just to use it. Fast charging matters to me. Yeah, I'm speaking about me. And as great as the battery life has been on the Pixel 6 Pro, the overall charging experience is not the one. And I have to say, it really left me wanting. Android 12 has been good, and honestly, overall it's kind of been stable for me, which holds true even now with the January 2022 update installed. Overall, the basis of what makes Android 12 is basically color theme with Material You. Obviously the new widgets and also more privacy controls, new accessibility controls and options overall, and a much more streamlined user experience. But honestly, that's all held true, and I honestly can't complain in regards to it. But you know what? I'm gonna put my hands up and say I'm probably one of those that, because I've just been so used to other custom layers of Android, like One UI from Samsung and how they work, I've not fully come around to appreciate Google's idea of Android just yet. But overall, the benefits for longer term support, and obviously that first in line OS version support that you're gonna get for the next few years, at least is something that you can enjoy and say about owning a Pixel. I just hope that once the Tensor platform matures, that Google reconsiders at least 4 to 5 years of OS version update support, especially on their flagship Pixel phones. My experience with the camera has been good, more thanks to True Tone and also the improvements to overall video performance. If honestly you want the full fat camera comparison videos with the Pixel 6 Pro, then I highly recommend you go watch that. Trust me, it's gonna be worth it. Get your popcorn, sit down and digest through all of that. But you know what? I'm gonna give you the quick verdict for this one. That new 11.1 megapixel selfie is legit and really makes a difference to photos and especially to videos, which finally brings 4K 30 frames per second video to the front facing camera. Thank you. Then having a dedicated 4x zoom always comes in handy and for me works really well. And honestly, it's good to see a new main sensor for the Pixel 6 Pro, but I still think that it needs some time and some fine tuning, because sometimes I kind of feel like Google still takes the same approach to photos like what they did with their previous 12 megapixel sensor. My only hope next time is Google really gives a bit more time to test in and add in the more up-to-date video features we see on other flagships, like video portrait mode and 4K 60 on all the camera sensors and lenses, and maybe just throw in 8K as well, I guess, right? And also, when you're recording, to allow you to flip to the other lenses, including the selfie, while recording without stopping. That general feedback in mind, this is a great step up and a great step in the right direction, especially considering the new software features on tap, like Magic Eraser, motion with Action Pan, and long exposure, and of course, the class-leading night sight in low light photography. This is Google still showing why their phones are still called Pixel. Now wrapping this up, even with all the feedback given for what could be better for now, and also in the future for the next model of the Pixel series in 2022, at the starting and asking price of £849 here in the UK, I can still recommend getting the Pixel 6 Pro. For a first attempt for making what is pretty much fully close to their own custom flagship phone from the ground up, Google did a great job, and all they need to do is step it up further and even further for each next release and really just stay the course. That is my long-term 4-month experience review with the Pixel 6 Pro. Did you pick it up? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comment section below. That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, then you know exactly what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.